Hello, I'm Vlasich. I study fashion design with marketing at Central St. Martin's. And I'm on first year. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're gonna have our first cheers. Okay, because I found you because your white showpieces is like amazing. I really like it. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept and the whole process when you
Okay,
do the
yeah.
white show?
So, my white showpiece is. Do you have a picture? Should we? Is it gonna show a picture or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna do like
Insert picture here. So basically, the concept I was looking at was at the process of decay on this tree trunk that I found and examined. It was just this cut tree trunk, and it was just completely white. And I couldn't tell whether it was fungus that was decaying it, and that was the white part, or if it was just painted white by a human hands.
Yeah.
So I was exploring that idea of playing with decay through the human cutting the tree and destroying the tree, or the natural process of decay with the mushrooms and bacteria.
Okay.
So I looked at this performance by one of my favorite artists called Matthew Barney, and it's this performance called De Lama Lamina, which is the title of my white show as well.
Oh.
So it basically means from mud, a blade, and it was this performance that he did at a carnival in Brazil, where it was this tractor that held an uprooted white tree. And for the white tree, I thought that was really visual and beautiful. And when you examined more pieces of it, there was this actress at the top of the tree that was supposed to play Julia Butterfly Hill, which is this activist that sat at the top of a redwood tree in California for 2 years. So it wouldn't be cut. I don't know if you've ever heard of that story. But she lived in the tree for 2 years and defended its cutting. And this performance kind of looked at what would happen if the tree was uprooted and dead. And I don't know, for me it was really beautiful to look at those visual references of metal and the machine grabbing onto a natural organic piece. So when I looked at my piece, I tried to make the pattern pieces look like these broken pieces or slashed pieces of wood. So the collar is opening up like this, and it has a piece in between that's supposed to be the axe or the machine slicing through it. And at the bottom it has that too. And for me, when I first, even when I was doing my interview to enter FTM, I already had this entire idea of the white show, not this idea, but I was so excited about the white show, and I know it was such an important thing at CSM.
Yeah.
And I remember asking Stephanie Cooper, who interviewed me, what textiles are we going to be using? And she told me that it would be this recycled polyester. And from that, I started questioning a little bit the material and everything. And when we were briefed for the white show, they talked to us about the company and everything. And for me, it didn't feel correct to use a type of polyester that could not go back into the ground, because the stuff that I was looking at was about this resilience and fight for nature. So I decided to make my own textiles as well. So it was all these 100% cotton bed sheets that I sourced from charity shops from a while back, and I decided to treat them with melted beeswax. So that's the glossy part of it.
Wow.
So it could hold up without the color could hold up without needing an interfacing or something. So, and it's 100% compostable, so it can be put into the ground and it will decay. Wow. So for me it was important to do that, and also with the chia seed embossment textile on the train, because it went with the concept. Yeah. That's it.
That's so amazing, because I didn't thought anybody from first year they already thought about sustainability and all that.
I think a lot of people do, but I think it's for the white show, it's already so hard, and it's a pattern making project and everything, that thinking about the textiles shouldn't necessarily be part of it. But since we are offered this option of textiles that are made of polyester, I think that hopefully in the coming years, people will be able to also think of the color white for their textile as an inspiration for the texture they might make, or yeah.
So what is the most challenging part, like when you're doing the white show?
When I was doing the white show, I think that to be successful at CSM or in any place, and especially during a project like this where you only have this amount of time to make, like you really need to structure yourself. And for me, like I don't think I've ever been as structured for a project as this one.
Yeah.
So I would like put my alarm and really wake up and like just work as much as I could, but then also know that I need to go to sleep, like not pull all-nighters, but look at it like as a long battle instead of just finishing it at the end, which I've done before for other projects. So like the hardest part was organizing my time, but I think I was able to do a better job. Yeah.
Wow. It's really, I feel like it's hardly to hear from somebody else, because usually people like staying really late to, you know, and the very last week everything just been rushing up.
Yeah.
And what you say is really important. I think it's for like a fashion student. It's like long battle like to do. Oh my god. Yeah, having enough sleep is very important.
Yeah, I think that so many people glamorize that. They're like, oh, no sleep, work, no sleep. Like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you need to also like live your life and be healthy so that you can produce the best work, and just see it as like a long commitment instead of a horrible thing, you know.
Usually where you find your inspiration?
My inspiration? Well, like for the white show, it was like looking at these artists that I love and also like the natural world. But I think it's always about looking at concepts that are bigger than you. Like for me, it's really important, like the work that I really value comes from people that look at things that are way bigger than themselves, and how their work can be a small part for something that's very important. So I think that's extremely general, but I think if you have something that you really believe in, like an idea that needs to change or something, like focusing on artists and people that have worked for that change before, and looking at them and seeing how they did it, and seeing how you can take that energy as well for yourself.
So you feel like artists have the responsibility to say things out?
Yeah, or just like fight for a belief, or for a movement, or for a type of change, you know, I think.
So what do you want to fight for?
I mean, I think that for me it's really important to think about the future of our world, and I think that in like the entire discussion of sustainability, like we're all trying our best, you know, we're coming up with recycled fabrics of this and that, and for me it's really important to play with that idea of sustainability, but also like make it aspirational for others. Like that's what I wish I could make that, like maybe just a little part of that in my life, but like make sustainability something that is admirable, and also something that you want to be part of, or that you want to focus on. I don't know. I want it to be like a dream. You know? So I guess that's what I fight for. But,
Because I feel like a lot of people, when I ask, especially for fashion people, they always like fighting for genders, fighting for like, I know, identity, like all that part. Because even everybody says sustainability is important, but nobody really think that's something we're actually gonna be fighting for. But
I mean, I think that there's so many battles that need fighting for, like gender expression and all of that. That's extremely important, and has such a strong history with fashion. But I think that right now it's like, for me, it's yes, like some people, I think everyone should be sustainable, and in addition to that have like their own battles and their own things that they look at. But I think that when you look at sustainability also as like something to fight for in your concepts, not only the materials that you use, then you can like push forward an idea and make people listen and fight for that as well. Okay.
very like big dream, and I feel like that's what everybody should be focused on at the moment. But yeah, since you lived in so many different places, is there any like which city is like one of your favorites?
I mean, I don't know. For me, I think I was born in Mexico, so for me, Mexico has always been really important. But I never lived in Mexico necessarily, like only until I was 4 years old.
Ah.
But like because of my father's job, he was in like hotel business and stuff like that. So in tourism and stuff like that. So we had to move because of his job. But for me, like I always had like a connection back to my roots of Mexico. So I'd say that that's like my favorite, but it's almost as if it was like a fantasy. I don't know.
Ah, that's cool. But how you feel like, because you've been traveled to so many countries and you have like different heritage in a way, how does that affect your work about your fashion opinions and stuff?
I mean, I guess in the end, it just lets me see that like even if we go to all these places, we all have the same issue or the same issues. Like obviously it's very different, like each society has very different issues, but in the end we do have so many things in common and so many things that we all need to fight for. So I guess that for me it's just been about understanding that we're just so similar, and it's I don't know, I guess it's that, it's like discovering that we have so many things in common and sometimes we don't realize it. And I don't know.
It's so touching!
Why am I getting so deep about just talking about
But I feel like that's important.
Yeah. But like at CSM, that's what I love so much. I feel like everyone's from so many different places.
Yeah. And
we're all here, and I feel like we're all on the same team fighting, you know. It's really cool. Yeah.
It's right. You already like had online courses in Parsons.
Yeah.
What do you feel like the biggest difference compared Parsons and CSM?
So I feel like I wasn't fully immersed in Parsons because I wasn't there, you know, like I was only doing these online classes, and I loved it so much. I think Parsons has amazing courses. Like they have one course called Sustainable Systems.
Oh.
That is I think the best class I've ever taken in my life. It's like so good because they make you really focus and see the world as like a system that you're a part of, and you have a duty to make it better. And I don't know, for me that course was really impactful for my work now.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be the same artist or person without that course, to be honest. So I'm so grateful I had that, but I did Parsons after I did my foundation at CSM as well. So when I was doing Parsons, I kept on thinking, oh, I wish I was back at CSM. I don't know why, I think it was just a different way of working. And it's more free, I guess, Central St. Martin's.
Yeah.
So I think for some people it works better.
I see.
So.
But how is your foundation life in CSM? Like
my foundation life. Oh my god, it was extremely stressful. Like I feel like it was even more stressful than BA. I don't know why.
I heard so much about it.
Like also my year was a really complex year because it was the year like when COVID was just beginning, and then in March, boom, we all went back to our homes and couldn't come back, and then we didn't finish it. We didn't finish foundation. Like
what?
I guess like we finished it at our houses, kind of online, but we didn't have the presentation or anything that the end of the year usually has.
Okay.
But I feel like that entire year was everybody was very stressed and anxious because you have to compete for these like little amount of slots for BA.
Yeah.
Plus the anxiety of COVID, and already in December people weren't able to come back. Like a lot of like international students.
Yeah.
So
I heard that. Yeah.
So it was a really weird year to be in foundation, I guess. Yeah.
But did you make a lot of friends like in foundation, or it's like always competitive?
I think it's really extremely competitive, to be honest. But I did make friends.
Okay, good.
I did make friends, but it's very different than now, because now I think, especially in FDM, we're all so different. I feel like we all have a niche or a group of like people that we like, artists and things that we look to that is so different than the other that you can't really compete. It's just like, you know, everybody has their own world.
Yeah, it's different. It's just different.
In a foundation, I think you still have that, like, I think you're a little bit less sure of your world and yourself, so it's just like, it's just hard not to be competitive, especially with, you know, that pressure of getting in to continue to your BA. So it's, I don't know. I recommend doing foundation, but
doing CCM.
I don't know.
I don't know, cause I never did foundations, so I was just like try to figure out the world of how the foundation is gonna be.
Yeah.
But do you have any suggestion for people who wants to apply BA in CSM?
To apply to the BA, like I do think the foundation really makes you like work in a certain way that is very Central St. Martin's, and it becomes like more natural, like with the foundation to work that way. And when you make your portfolio, like for BA, the foundation does help. But I do think that, like for FTM specifically, if you just look at your work and see where it fits in to society, and I mean, I guess FTM, everybody says you need to have a point of view and everything. So it's like focusing on that point of view, on like the way that you look at the world and the way that you want it to change, and having all the pieces in your portfolio amount to that. Like even though they're different projects, they all need to tell a story, or they all need to have like a battle that they're fighting for, or an idea that they want to focus on.
Yeah. So you feel that's the most different part compare FDM with other major?
I think for FDM it's about definitely this universe that you're creating, and yeah, I think it's also about being very expressive in the way that you work. Like I think, yes, technique is extremely important, but not necessarily to get into the BA. Once you're here, you need to really focus on the skills to make a beautiful garment. But I think that when you're applying, it's really about voicing out your personality through your sketchbook or through the drawings that you make, through the projects and the stories that you tell.
So you're also like a storyteller. And
yeah, I think for FDM you have to be.
Are you guys writing papers for a customer or anything?
No.
Okay.
No papers yet. I think we do have an essay coming out. And I haven't written in like 2 or 3 years. No, in 2 years. It's fine.
Okay, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Do you have any like advice to give when people have the interview?
Yeah, so for example in my interview, I think you just need to be open to surprises. I don't know, for me, like my application story and everything was, I don't know, a bit unexpected, because I applied to like fashion print and I really wanted fashion print, but then like the first year, but then I started considering FDM and everything, and now like looking back on my work, I realized that it made so much sense to be an FDM for me, and I'm so grateful for my spot in FDM, and I think it was kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Because like just looking at my work, I was like, oh, print. That's the only place that will take me.
Yeah, I see.
But yeah, I think it's so like for the interview, I think you need to just like, I don't know if you even need to prepare, because it's just you'll have no idea like what they ask you. But it's also that, you know, like you just need to be yourself, and you just need to be present and be there. I think for me, like it was hard because they were asking me questions and I was nervous, and then I was like trying to answer, but it was something different that they were asking. So just like focus. They're saying this sentence to me. What does it mean? Yes. Okay. My shapes come from this research and this.
I see. But you still got in, even though you were nervous and anything.
Oh yeah, I was so nervous.
Any trick questions did they ask?
They asked me one that was really interesting. Do you think Margiela has created everything? Like, they asked me if Margiela had created everything, and if it was pointless to do fashion now because Margiela had created every single concept. Make sure you say no, because then you're going to be like, okay.
How come? Did you do any thing related to
No.
And
But
they just
I think it's an interesting question because it's
Yeah.
like a lot of people do think that Margiela has created everything and there's nothing
Yeah.
else to do now. But I do think myself that there's so much more.
Yeah.
So just make sure you say yes and you have a reason. No, you say
No.
no.
Yeah, you say
No.
no.
No. Margiela hasn't created everything. Don't say yes.